Hey, we got a lot of music today.
It is a musical day.
It's a musical day, as promised. We have Grace Tyler here.
Mm-hmm.
Grace is in Nashville.
Hello.
Grace.
Oh, I got it.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Grace, how are you?
Good. How are y'all?
Oh, it's so
Super.
good to see you. Listen,
Yeah, you too.
welcome back to Frisco. I know it's not the best circumstances that you're back, but you just went to Nashville to go to school. Tell us about how your experience has been the last semester and then half of this one.
Yeah, no, it's been so much fun. I love Nashville. I feel like it's definitely the place where I needed to be, but just getting to um, see music in the city and kind of learn for myself, like, okay, this is kind of the direction I'm wanting to go in. And I mean, my classes have been amazing, getting to learn all about the music industry from like a classroom perspective is very different. And so that's been a lot of fun too, trying to see like all the different sides of the industry. But I've been writing and gigging, and it's been a lot of fun and just growing. But it's great to be back, kind of have like a friendly like reminder of home and like where I came from. And so yeah, it's been good. It's sad that it had to end so quickly, but I'll be back in no time. So it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, have you met anybody famous? Have you had any run-ins? Run into
Okay,
Miley Cyrus or
yes.
anybody in Nashville?
It's crazy. I mean, it's weird when you see famous people because it's in places you would like never expect. I see a lot of like famous people at church, which is kind of cool. So like if you're in Nashville, you should go to church just because you should go to church, but you also will see famous people too, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I've seen like Jed from The Bachelor, for all my Bachelor people out there. I always see him at church, so that's kind of cool. We had like a ton of like famous singers come to Belmont and they perform for us too. So it's been cool. It's definitely a very like different environment to live in. You have to act like super cool around celebrities. Like you're not allowed to freak out or anything. And so you like freak out inside, but you're like, okay, like act cool. Like, oh hey, like what's up? So it's fun.
That's awesome. Well, listen, I know you were doing gigs when you were here, and you're doing gigs up in Nashville. You're about to record, maybe you were about to record an album, right?
Yeah, so before all this happened, we had literally just gotten into the studio, recording a single and some other stuff that we're planning on releasing later in the year. And so it's kind of sad that that got interrupted a little bit, but hopefully we'll be back in a few weeks and we'll get to finish it out. But it's definitely a lot of stuff I'm super excited about, kind of just the direction I'm wanting to go in my music. And what we have so far is so cool, and I'm literally so excited for people to hear it. And yeah.
That's so cool. Well, you really are like an inspiration to so many people because when you think about someone making it, right? You're like, oh, it's cool. Like when you know somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I know that person, and so it's kind of inspiring that like to follow your dreams and to like step out there in faith. And so like, tell us like when did you start singing, and how did you know that I'm a good singer?
No, that's a great question. So when I was little, we would always me and my friends would always do like karaoke nights at, oh my gosh, there was some karaoke bar. Mom, do you remember what it was called? The Varsity Club. I don't know if any of you were around Frisco. I think it's closed now. I'm pretty sure it is. But they would have like Tuesday nights, like kids karaoke. So that was kind of our thing, is that we'd always go on Tuesday nights. And that was really when I like found out like I love singing. And I don't know if y'all can see me. He's trying to call me right now. Shout out, Boone.
Boone's in the comments, so that's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
He just
probably. Yeah. But yeah, so that was definitely where I just found a love for music and all things singing. So from there, it kind of escalated to like, okay, how can I take this to the next step? So that was kind of getting involved in like vocal lessons and then like learning instruments. And from there, it just led to like gigging and writing my own music. And so it's crazy how it's weird to talk about it because it's crazy how it started at just doing like little karaoke bars and things like that. But I just think it's really cool to see how like Frisco kind of shaped me into like the musician I am, and that's kind of weird to say because I feel like Frisco, when I was at least like young and growing up, like music wasn't as pushed as other things like sports or things like that. And so it was hard at first to be like, okay, like I want to do music and stuff. But I feel like Frisco has really embraced like music now, and I think that's so cool. And I think I have like a really unique perspective of where if somebody wants to do music, like I want to be a supporter for them and be like, yes, like you can, and it's so great. And even though like Frisco is amazing and they love sports, like music is also just as cool too. So I think
Yeah.
that's fun and kind of special. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
kind of
love
like
it.
where it started out.
Because there's got to be two parts to the singing thing. Like number one, because see, I like to sing, but two, people don't want to hear me sing. So there's like it's like a combo. Like you gotta want to sing, but then you gotta have people want to hear you. So
Right.
yeah,
That's
I'm
true.
missing
That's
the
very
second
true.
part.
There's been lots of times where it's just like I feel like I'm almost singing to myself. You know, you have like awesome gigs where there's tons of people and you're like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm wanting to do and my dreams are coming true. And then you have shows where it's literally like empty tables, maybe like a couple of people. They're usually my mom and dad. And those are just as fun too, but it's like kind of humbling sometimes because you're like, okay, you know what, this is, you know, we'll get to the point sometime where all these seats are filled, but for right now, like what can I do to make myself better to where I can get to that point? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, like when what's been like a cool moment for you where maybe you're doing a gig and you're thinking to yourself like, oh my goodness, I'm doing this gig right now. Have you had one of those moments?
yeah, okay. So I think the moment that really like kind of made it all seem real to me was my first gig in Nashville, and it's this thing called Whiskey Jam. And if you've never heard of it, it's a really big deal to get into in Nashville. Like a lot of big artists play it or have played it, and you know you get a range of like I performed one week and the next week like Lady Antebellum came, Parker McCullough, like just these huge names. So
Yeah.
it's a very like well known kind of gig to have in Nashville. And that night, like performing and getting to do my like songs I've written in front of like on the stage that so many people that I look up to have was just kind of like this is it, like this is what I'm wanting to do and this is what I was meant to do. And so I think that was like the biggest moment for me. I was so nervous. Like I don't really get nervous anymore, but that was like, oh my gosh, that was like a big deal. And
Yeah.
so luckily it went great and my band was fantastic. And that's the crazy thing. Like all the musicians there are fantastic. Like my drummer played on Luke Combs' entire album. And you're like, oh my gosh, you know Luke Combs. That's really crazy.
Yeah.
And so it's just really cool to see how the community in Nashville too like wants to care for like emerging artists. Like I've never had somebody look down on me because like I'm newer there or I'm just kind of like starting out. Everybody is so welcoming and wanting to help you like with your career as much as they can. So
Yeah. That's so awesome.
it's so
I
cool.
gotta this will be just an inside joke, but I have a maybe a if we could come up with like the ultimate tour, it'd be Grace Tyler, Marty Breeze tour. So
He
Yes.
texted me the other day. That's another story, but I got a text from Marty Breeze. I feel kind of famous now because he texted me. So if you know, you know Marty Breeze. Oh my
Wow.
god.
Yep.
yeah. We by the way, look, I'm wearing I got the
Grace
saw it.
Tyler
shirt.
I was gonna
merch.
say,
I got
was
the
watching
merch.
before and I was like, wow, wearing the Grace Tyler merch. We love it.
Yeah. So where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, so my social media kind of is all over the place, but Instagram is Grace period Tyler. If you just search Grace Tyler in anything, it'll pop up. But my website's Grace Tyler Music that has links to like all the socials, all the stuff. So go check that out. Definitely like give it a follow. Self promo here, but we're having music come out real soon that I'm so excited to share.
Yay.
So definitely be on the lookout for that. It's gonna be really really cool. So yeah.
And we're just so glad that you still answer our calls. We know that you're going to make it so big at some point that the phone will go silent. But right now,
No, never, never, never.
Well, hey, would you play us a little tune, a little something
Yeah,
that
I
everyone's
love to.
quarantined in? So we'd
Yes,
love to
for
hear
sure.
something.
So I'm gonna play the song that it's gonna be my next single that we are in the middle of recording right now. Gonna go back and finish, but this song is I think one of my favorites that I've written. I wrote it with a guy named Justin Lee, who was like my first buddy in Nashville, and kind of like at the time of this song, I had an idea of what everything I wanted for my life was going to look like, and then things just kind of changed really quickly, and so we wrote about it, and I think it's very relatable, and if you've gone through something like it, like a breakup or something, I don't know, I feel like everybody can relate to it in some way, so that's why I'm kind of excited about it, but this one's called My Mistake. One of those cliches, true love at first sight. World stopped on a dime, started feeling butterflies. 2 years flew by, overnight it seems, as we've been building the life of our dreams. I see me and you down on one knee to dress at church, our whole family. See the house with the portrait all around. I'll see you and me with baby on the way, love you till we're old and gray. See our whole life in this town. Never saw you see somebody else. My mistake. Oh, my mistake. Wish I'd known better than to give my all to you. A love like that is too good to be true. I wish I'd seen the light a little brighter at the start. Oh, then I wouldn't have this broken heart, 'cause I saw me and you down on one knee to dress at church. Our whole family saw the house, portraits all around. I saw you and me with baby on the way, love you. So we're only great, so our whole life living in this. Never saw you see somebody else. My mistake. Oh, my mistake. Looking back, it's just too clear to see. Well, I had planned it perfectly. You saw her and you down one near the dress church. Her whole family saw the house with the portrait all around. Yeah, you saw you and her, baby on the way, loving her. So you really great, saw your whole life still in the whole time you seeing somebody else. Why never saw you seeing somebody else? My mistake. Oh, my mistake.
Oh yes. Oh man. Wow.
So good.
Got the
Thank
pipes,
you.
got the lyrics. Man, people are loving it on the chat, by the way.
Oh, awesome.
We have a mom who says she's in full tears over here.
Yeah, me too. No. We're all good. We're all good. There used to be tears. We're good now, though. We're so good now. You know. I feel really awkward. I feel bad talking about it, but it was like a part of my life. And if you went to church, you knew. But yeah, it's cool how I feel like that was a big moment for me, was learning to, like overcome those things and to put like my feelings aside, and we're good, we're friends, and we're doing great. So life is good now. We just gotta put that out there. But yeah, got a good song out of it, so that's good.
And that's what all good country music comes from anyway, right? Is just some heartbreak.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, Grace, man, the music heals people. So I know everyone who's watching and it's going to go on live later. A lot of people come back and watch it in the day or at nighttime. So thank you for sharing your gift. We're rooting for you. We just we're excited for you. We're proud for you, and
Thank you.
we just love watching on the outside, seeing what you're up to. So keep rocking, keep writing.
You're so sweet.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody follow Grace Tyler. And Grace, thanks for spending the day with us. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. All right, I'll talk to y'all later.
Okay, bye, Grace. Thank you.